Welcome to Moose on the Loose. My name's David. This is your source of uncorrupt media. We've got Jonathan Wilkinson spewing some nonsense about a sustainable fuel facility. Jonathan Wilkinson here is in Manitoba.
We talk a lot these days about the issue of climate change. Climate change is altering our natural world in a myriad of harmful ways. Terrible season of forest fires. I represent a riding in British Columbia, and I think many of you will have seen the pictures from Kelowna that showed the devastation that these events are causing to many Canadians. While some politicians these days choose to deny or deflect or downplay such events, Canadians know the facts. Our planet is effectively burning up, and extreme weather is becoming more prevalent with each passing year, and climate change is the cause.
Now let's just be honest here. Climate change is not the only cause. I'm not denying climate change. I'm not a climate denier. We can't be punishing the citizens of Canada for this utopian wheatgrass sipping unicorn riding society that these guys are putting forward. Alberta has been having their grid having warnings every single day now for minus 30, minus 40 temperatures. People are being told to not run their ovens and all this stuff because it's too cold and electrical grid can't handle it. So how can people switch to electric vehicles across Canada and expect the grids to not completely collapse? Not to mention there's been so many electric cars being stuck on the sides of highways. They're just not good vehicles for some climates. Just like Edmonton, if you haven't heard, they spent $60 million on electric buses and half of them aren't operating and it's costing like $1 million to fix them. It's just like such a disaster. So based on what Jonathan Wilkinson just said,
and extreme weather is becoming more prevalent with each passing year, and climate change is the cause.
So this is not entirely true, and he knows it. There was 12 fires started in Alberta, and a lot of those major wildfires were caused by someone starting those fires. And there's a lot of people suspecting that they may have paid people to get them to do that so they can push the climate change. Who knows? Who knows? But let's just get legit honest with the facts. People have started these fires, and then the Liberals they're just saying, oh, it's climate change. It's not all of them are climate change. A lot of fires are started by people, dumb people. In this case, it was one guy, so he obviously had some sort of agenda, whether he was paid or not, or maybe it was political or environmental. Who knows? But he had an agenda and he started those fires. So not everything is started by climate change.
The recent Manitoba throne speech underlined the fact that climate change is one of the greatest challenges of our time, one that requires real solutions. At the same time, climate change is also rapidly transforming the global economy and global finance in ways that are creating economic opportunities for those who approach the shift to a lower carbon world in a thoughtful, determined, and strategic manner. The global energy transformation is both an environmental imperative to protect the planet for future generations and an economic opportunity on the scale of the Industrial Revolution.
It's so clear that he's got his briefing from Trudeau. Trudeau's gone, probably had a big boardroom meeting. Everyone listen up. It's all about climate change. That's how we can get their money. And he basically has this mandate where they all have to say climate change the first time they speak about anything now. That's what it really seems like, at least from my perspective. I'm all for having greener technologies and all that stuff. That would be amazing. And there was a recent breakthrough last year with the nuclear fission or whatever splitting of getting more energy back from some sort of, I don't know, I'm not a scientist, but they broke something, neutrons or something in half, and they got more energy back than they spent, and this is some major scientific achievement. And that, maybe in 5-10 years when they figure out how to put that into some little energy thing I can have behind me sitting there generating all the power, perfect, that'd be great. But until then, these guys know that if we just push everything go to electric and we don't have the grid set up, that we're going to break our economy. We're already breaking our people in our society. And there's reports came out, they knew with the whole immigration numbers, the Immigration Bureau or whatever it's called in Canada, they warned the government that the current immigration rates as well as bringing in all the foreign workers and the foreign students would break the housing situation. Yet they did nothing. They just kept on pushing ahead with their numbers. So they clearly have some weird agenda to just break Canadian souls.
I am here to tell you that for Canada to seize the extraordinary economic opportunities that can be enabled through the transition to a net zero economy, we must accept the scientific reality of climate change and ensure that it informs and shapes Canada's economic strategy going forward. What Canada needs at this moment in our history is a thoughtful and ambitious economic strategy that will create wealth and good jobs in every province and territory in this country.
We do, and it won't be with the liberals and windbags like you, Wilkinson. Give me a break. Get this guy out of the job. So he just goes on. I went through this video. It's 38 minutes of just the worst, just listening to Wilkinson and a couple of these other guys babble. It's kind of like if you stuck your face outside of a moving car and the road was made of glass and you stuck your face right into it. That's what it's like listening to a 38-minute video of Jonathan Wilkinson. So I'll spare you guys, just pull out a couple key moments here.
In Alberta, Dow recently announced its decision to proceed with a $12 billion net zero petrochemical facility, the first net zero petrochemical facility in the world. And here in Manitoba, we are seeing the success of New Flyer's electric buses and increased activity relating to critical minerals.
He brings up the electric buses, like I just brought it up, like, why would you bring that up? He didn't bring up the fact that they're all getting stuck and they're not being able to operate in the freezing temperatures. Where's the honesty and transparency, dude? So I just got to jump in here real quick. So I didn't realize when I was watching this that Winnipeg has also purchased electric buses, 150 of them, and they received delivery in June of 2024. So they have not had their electric buses die, get stuck and not operate properly in the cold winter yet. So they can look forward to that next winter, but it's Edmonton right now that's getting screwed on their electric buses. 150 is a lot. I don't know why they wouldn't do a pilot project. Maybe did they even do a pilot project and test those out? It just seems, I don't understand why these municipalities keep buying electric buses in the coldest places.
It is up to us as a country to make smart choices. We can choose to lead by recognizing where the world is heading and aggressively pursuing major areas of economic opportunity. Or we can choose to bury our heads in the sand, pretend the world is not moving towards a cleaner, greener future, eroding our long-term competitiveness and our long-term prosperity.
He's got some words right there. We need to take a little advice here from Wilkinson, not bury our heads in the sand, wake up and not let our amazing country erode under these...
You're just a fat, pompous, bad-tempered old tyrant.
So these guys go on to just pat each other on the back.
And I just want to take an opportunity to call our work by investing. We probably have time for a question and a follow-up question.
They're global news, and I have one question for the Premier and one question for the Minister, and both are carbon tax related. So I don't know who would like to answer first.
Look at this. Here's a display of leadership. I think this guy's the Premier of Manitoba or Winnipeg. And look at these guys. Just a couple of leadership right there. No, you speak. I don't want to talk on the hard subjects.
All right.
More provinces and territories keep saying they want to see the carbon change, and they frame it around the cost of living. Rebates, people feel it's adding pressure to the cost of living. Is this a sign Ottawa needs to adjust plans before the next price increase in April?
Before I was Minister of Energy and Natural Resources, I was the Minister of the Environment, and I'm quite familiar with how the carbon price works. The carbon price is one tool in the context of a broad approach to addressing the climate emergency. It is not the silver bullet. It is part of a broad range of things, including regulatory tools, including investments, etc.
I would really like to know, how does taxing citizens change or stabilize the climate, the carbon levels of this planet? I always make a joke, they put the money in a paper airplane and send it up to the sky gods. But seriously, guys, we're not dumb. Like, give me a break. Not only that, like, I've said this a million times, unless our country was China and anything we did had a net effect of 30% of the planet, then yeah, you're going to actually move the needle. Canada, it's 1%. We're not moving any needle. It's just not going to happen. We could be the worst polluting country on earth and it wouldn't move the needle. Like, let's be honest.
The design of the price on pollution was developed in such a way that we actually directly addressed the issue of affordability through carbon rebates in provinces that use the federal system. And those rebates for 80% of Canadian families are more than what they pay through direct and indirect costs. And in fact, there was a study done recently by Trevor Toombs at the University of Calgary that actually showed that the vast majority of folks that live in those two provinces, which have been the most vocal on this issue, get more money back. I think the most recent study shows that 96% of Canadians who actually earn less than, I believe it's $70,000 a year as a family income, get more money back. So getting rid of the price on pollution actually would work in reverse order to affordability. It would actually make poorer people poorer.
This is such a lie, dude. I want to slap you across the face, you blatant loser liar. We all know, this is not rocket science, that if you make the cost of gas and groceries and the farmers and all that stuff more expensive, then it's more expensive to live. They just keep twisting the words to like, oh, your little $300 check per year, oh, you would get less back, and you wouldn't get that back, blah, blah, blah. People don't care about a $300 check. I saw a comment that summed it up. There's a lady who said, I would rather pay for daycare and my own dental plan if it meant that housing and food and gas was affordable. And that's basically it. Your carbon tax has absolutely devastated our country. That's bar none. Like, this guy is an absolute loser. All of these corrupt liberals, Wilkinson, Sean Fraser, Karina, Trudeau, Chrystia Freeland, can we just round them up and ship them off to their island of their choice? We can send them to Aga Khan or China, wherever you guys want to go. We'll send you. Just get out of our country. Get out of our country. You are destroying our country. We don't like you. We don't want you in our country.
It would also remove the incentive people have to address efficiency and to actually reduce their carbon emissions. So the Government of Canada will continue to communicate a number of those issues. We will continue to move forward with a plan that actually does address affordability, but does so in a manner that that also helps us with the climate issue. I would also say to some provinces and territories, if they actually have an interest in designing their own plan that would reach the criteria that are established by the federal government, they are welcome to do that. And
let's just sum this up for everyone here. So what he's saying is, we put in the carbon tax so you don't drive around, you don't do things, thus less carbon is emitted, but you're going to get more money back because we're giving you $300. And if you made less than $76,000, then you'll get all of that back and more. Except the one thing we forgot to mention is that, yeah, we're actually going to be increasing the cost of living by like 10,000 times. These guys go on babble a bit more. They talk about the Green Initiatives program or whatever. You can like do upgrades to your house and get some money back. This program's been running for years. If you're wondering about that, they said they're going to look at it, potentially add more money to that program. Thumbs up the video, subscribe, and stay warm, stay fed. I'll see you guys in the next one.